plaintiff, Jessie Greer, says her son was murdered 3 years ago by his good friend. And after this tragedy, she turned to the defendant for comfort. Jessie's engaged to the defendant's stepfather, and she claims her deceased son was extremely close to the defendant, so they grieved together. However, Jessie's suing the defendant today for auto repairs. Defendant Serena Green says she hadn't talked to Jessie in nearly 5 months when she found out about her son's death, and she claims the news absolutely devastated her. However, Jessie believes the only reason she's in court today is because Jessie never properly grieved her son's passing, and she's countersuing for harassment.
Start with you.
My name is Jessie Greer. This is Sammy Justice. He's my fiance, and Serena Green is his stepdaughter. In 2007, my son got murdered. He
Sorry
was
to hear that.
by a boy that was supposed to be his friend. He had shot him, and
Why?
nobody knows. There was only 2 people there. He had claimed at first that my son had shot himself, but evidence showed that he had shot my son, and he's serving 15 years and 6 months for manslaughter.
Okay.
At this time, he had just got married. He had a 9-month-old son. I wanted to get in touch with Serena. She was really close to my son, and they called each other brother and sister, and they were just really close. I've known Serena since she was like 12 years old. I got in touch with her. We spoke, and we cried. She was very comforting. About a month after that, which was November 2008, she contacted my fiance by email and asked if she could move in with us and get on her feet, just to help her get on her feet for a couple months. At that time, he did ask me, and we discussed it, and we agreed, that we would help her, let her move in. And she didn't have a vehicle.
Defendant Serena Green says after the plaintiff's son was murdered, she allowed Serena to borrow his car, but the plaintiff claims Serena damaged the vehicle.
You're suing about auto repairs, so
Yes, sir.
before you go there, I'm going to allow her to give some background. But how did you get through that, Nat?
Well, a lot of praying and seeing justice done.
That's what I feel. I see a lot of parents who lose their sons to gun violence. And I don't know, I think it's a mixture of things. Violent culture, number one, and to go along with a violent culture, you have guns available. So
Yes, sir.
kids sit at home and play those violent videos. And there's studies have proven that creates a predisposition for violence. You found out about it how many months later?
5 months. I was completely shocked. We were on the phone and we hadn't talked in a while. So I was just asking about how she was doing, how my dad was doing, and then I brought up Scotty, and then she just hesitated and told me, and I was at work and I had to leave. It was just too much, and I felt awful, like finding out about it as late as I did. We were really close. Like, I've known her for over 10 years. Like, we were really close, and I'm
putting a little focus on this before we get to the auto repairs. So I think folks watching, the viewers need to put a human face on this stuff. People read about it in the paper, they hear about it on the radio, watch it on the news, and it just kind of passes by them. Oh, okay, a kid got shot. And what you have to know is these kids have parents, they have brothers and sisters, and it devastates their lives. And it causes extreme pain and heartache. And I want these viewers to think of their children being killed so that they can get involved somehow in reducing gun violence. I have a youth agency in Detroit, and I would have the first-time offenders from my court assigned to this agency to have church-based mentors. We had 25 churches in our program. We asked them to get 10 men who would volunteer to mentor some of the first-time offenders who came through our court, because that's where a lot of it is happening in the inner city. These black youth whose fathers are in prison or on drugs or unemployed and just not part of their lives, and so they don't get a real sense of manhood, and they find the manhood in the gun, and it makes them tough. I remember when I was a kid, didn't want to necessarily shoot or kill anybody, but it made you feel like a man. So I say that to say that this is a crisis in America and it needs to be dealt with. So
It is.
I'm not preaching, I'm educating. You want to say anything else before we get to the car?
Basically, I just feel that the lawsuit is stemming from her still grieving over Scotty's death. Like she said, there was foul play. The guy only got 15 years. It was a manslaughter sentence. We were all angered by it. And then just basically, I just feel like she's lashing out at me from that, and which I mean is understandable, but it doesn't make it right. I just don't understand how you could lose a child, a life, right, and then turn around.
Hold on. Let's not throw that in the mix.
Okay.
$2,500 for the auto repairs is what you're suing for.
When she came to stay with us, she didn't have a vehicle to go back and forth to work. I agreed to let her, borrow my son's car. And I wasn't aware of the partying that she done, the drinking, and I discussed it with her several times. I didn't want her drinking and driving in the car. How much the car meant to me. She knew how much the car meant to me. It was very important to me. And the thing she was into from swinging, smoking marijuana and stuff, I didn't agree with it. I discussed it with her through letters, because she wouldn't come in till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I would leave a letter on her pillow where she would find it, so she would know how I felt about her disrespecting me and staying out with the car. In July, she had come in and told me she had busted the gear shift knob. She was going to replace it.
Did it come out to $2,500?
It wasn't just the gear shift. That was in July. Yes, that was part of it.
What else was it?
She had drove the car without water.
Okay.
And she blew the engine.
Yeah. All right, young lady.
Okay. Well, I was supposed to be using the car for school and work. I was going to school, and in, July, I had a diagnostic report done on the car, and I had that here as well. Okay,
what did it indicate?
That the car had been neglected.
Let's see it. Did it say anything about the engine, or what else? The gear shift?
The thermostat, and the gear shift, it only cost like maybe $15 to $20.
Engine light on.
And that was on when I got the car.
Defendant Serena Green says after the plaintiff's son was murdered, she allowed Serena to borrow his car, but the plaintiff claims Serena damaged the vehicle.
Thermostat is bad. Engine valve is bad.
And actually, when I went to Napa, he told me that.
What did he say about this?
I've got information here. I put the engine was put in on 8/29/2006. There was no there's no damage. Thermostat goes bad.
But has she shown?
No, she hasn't showed me. I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Look at the highlighted areas, but particularly the top right.
And Your Honor, after I had I told her that
counterclaim for $2,500 for your counterclaim.
For harassment.
How did she harass you?
Voicemails, text messages, also breaking into my email account. I have the text messages and the transcripts from the voicemail, and I can play the voicemails.
Why don't you read the things that you want me to know in particular?
In November, the day after Thanksgiving, she started texting me saying that she needed a payment for the car. After the car broke down, we sat down and we discussed how the payment, I was going to pay for it. In the text messages, she's telling me, I need a payment. Don't come back until you have a payment. I will call the police if you do.
I don't consider that harassment, ma'am. What do you say about this?
These are actual sensors. And sensors go bad in cars. These aren't actual parts of the engine as far as major parts of the engine.
When you can't tell whether it's running hot or not, and it runs hot, and it damages the engine.
Running hot, the light does come on because she called him and let him know that it was running hot.
You want to testify, sir?
Yes.
State your name.
Sammy Justice.
What do you want to tell me?
First of all, like I'm in between a rock and a hard place in this one.
You might want to sit back down. Up to you.
No, I'm fine.
I was giving you some friendly advice.
No, I'm fine. This is my fiance, and Serena is my stepdaughter. She does call me daddy when she does see me, but the way the incident with the car was, the night Serena called me and told me that that car was running hot. When she did call me.
How many times did you get a call that it was running hot?
Just once.
All right. And how many times do you know of it running hot?
Just that one
It
night.
won't kill the engine running hot one time.
No.
I'm going to dismiss both your claims and hope that you all can work through your grief. One more time, pastors, I beg you to get involved. I beg you to ask for your members, at least 10 of those men, to mentor 10 youth from outside of the church, counsel with them, meet with them, do that every week for 12 weeks, and you can make a difference. I beg you to do that. I know you're saying, thank you. God bless. Have a good day.
I want nothing more to do with her.
That's fine. I would hope that we could reconcile everything. We are family, and the car is just a material thing.